So if you can hear me, do me a favor. I have let me see if I can get to my other monitor over here. Only the second line I've had, so let's see if it's okay. Let's see if I can see the chat. Okay, 1 second. This is the only second live I've done, so I'm a little goofy on this. But I think I know how to get over here and see if I can see the chat here. Okay, there we go, I think. Okay, there we go. Welcome, welcome. This is, like I said, this is only my second live, so I'm going to, hopefully a few more people will come in, but I know there's a couple of you out there. At least I think there are. Let me close down this one screen over there. Okay, so like I said, this is my second live. Normally I'm outside when I'm doing videos, but it's dark, it's a little cold, and I don't want to be out there. So I figured I'd come in and try to share a few things to some people, and hopefully more people will come in. If not, I have a couple people in here, and that's what I'm here for tonight. So I'm the type of person I like to try to be prepared, and I'm going to try to make sure I look at the lens over here instead of over here because it just looks weird. So the subject for tonight, or there are actually several subjects, but they're all related. And obviously for me, it's all about food. And we've gone through this before, where food prices are sky high, and there's recalls left and right. Although you might not see as many recalls now, simply because, well, you know, some FDA inspectors have been removed. Apparently they're trying to hire some of them back, but these are people that check our food. And with all the recalls we've had, we need as many inspectors as we can get. And I see a few more people came in, so welcome, welcome. Oh, I guess I didn't mention, if you can see me, give me one thumbs up. If you can see me and hear me, give me 2 thumbs up. That way I know I'm just not just talking to myself. One or two. Welcome, welcome. See a few more people came in. So I'll continue. I don't want to get too far ahead because I know more people will be coming in. Okay, Country Hustle. Hey, what's going on? Hey, I know you're busy, but hope to see some content from you soon. So since my channel is about food, gardening, things like that, I try to stick mainly to what I do best. Keep the main thing the main thing. So as I'm growing food, I'm asking myself, are you growing food? Do you plan on growing food? Right now, my fall winter garden's still going fairly strong. Put some cabbage out the other day, and it was the sweetest food I've had. It almost tasted like there was sugar added to it. But I cooked it, and no, there's no sugar. Seasoning salt, if anything. But I keep my garden going year round. I have cabbage, collard greens, mustard green, turnips, spinach. I just pulled carrots, beets, and onions out. They didn't do all that well. I'll be honest, they didn't do great at all. But I was happy with my carrots. Some were decent size, some were a little straggling. But I know the problem was that I didn't fertilize enough, and I did not. I didn't thin them out. I should have thinned them out, and that would have helped them, give them space to get bigger. But you live, you learn. It was much better than they were the previous year because they were all like this and stuff. So you live, you learn, and hopefully you get better at something. One thing about failure, if you learn from it, it's not a true failure unless it's your parachute that fails. That's the final failure. So the question is, are you growing anything now? Do you plan on growing anything? And if you're going to do a spring summer garden, where are you going to get your what you're going to grow from? Are you going to grow from seed? Are you going to grow from starts? Where are you going to get them from? The big box stores? I guess I'm not supposed to say the names of them, but we know the big three. Are you going to try a local nursery? I love local nurseries, but sometimes the prices can be a little expensive. Or are you going to get your stuff online? And I've done, the big box stores. I've gotten stuff online. As far as nurseries, everything I got from a nursery this past year was this past fall has been a tree. I had a fruit tree that looks dead, dead or dying. So I replaced it because I gotta get it in the ground, or at the very least in a big pot. I have a greenhouse, so I put stuff in the pot, and I'll probably keep it in there. If not, probably for a year, because I have some other stuff that's in the greenhouse that's ready to come out. But I need to fence it in because my dogs, jeez, instruments of destruction. Last year, I planted 2 brand new fruit trees. The trees are doing well for like about a week. I was happy. I was like, okay, the dogs, they're getting older. I have one that's about 3 years old, so he's 2, maybe 1.5. And I went out there one day, and the top halves of the tree were gone, and the bottom half was somewhere else in the yard. So I need to protect my trees. So right now, my smaller trees in the greenhouse, my bigger trees, I'm going to plant at least 1 or 2 in the yard and put some fencing around it. And I hope he doesn't dig up under it. So are you guys planting from seeds or starts? I think the chat might be running slow. I can't really tell. I see a few people over here. Darth X. Hey, good name. All right. So that's what I'm doing as far as what I'm going to be planting. I did get a tree, and as far as what I'm growing and how I'm growing it, I made a commitment on my first live. My commitment was my goals for this year. One of my goals was to plant more stuff from seed. I don't want to pay $4 or $5 for one little 3.5-inch plant. Of course, if I do get something like that, I'm going to find one that has 2 or 3 plants in it. But I don't even want to do that. I'm not cheap. I'm frugal. So I want to grow from seed. And it's not just because of the price of the, hey, Sherry Long. Hey, what's going on? Welcome. I want to plant seeds because I get a much better variety. I know if I go to any of the big box stores, they pretty much have the exact same plants, whether it be tomato plants, pepper plants, spinach plants. Yes, Sherry, growing all from seed. And let me show you something. I'm in my office right now, and my office my greenhouse is not heated. It's not heated at all. So I can't do my seedlings out there. But I got my babies in my office. These are all tomato plants. These are my Baker Creek black cherry tomatoes. I know that's a lot of tomato plants. That's probably about 8. I don't need all of those. But, pardon me. But the one thing I do is, if you're going to plant from seed, you can't guarantee that all your seeds are going to germinate. I didn't want to plant a bunch of seeds or plant 3 seeds and have 2 of them fail. I didn't want to waste my time. So that one container there I probably planted about 8, 10 seeds in there. And I'd rather waste some seeds in the hope that some will germinate and get a definite germination on some of them. That's more plants than I need. I'll pinch some off, maybe give some to a family member. And if I have enough, I might even, who knows, I might just find a local charity or home or something where I can give some people some plants. But one way or another, at least I have my seeds. And see, Sherry, you said you planted yours on the kitchen table, on the heat mat. Yes, yes, yes. Heat mat, grow lights. Yes, I did. Well, I couldn't use the kitchen table because my wife would kill me. No, no. I have a wonderful wife. She's very understanding of my efforts to grow food, but I try not to take advantage of her kindness because she's a kind, loving woman, and she might watch this videos, so I guess I should say that. But she's a great wife. Been married 30 years, 31 years. So anyway, enough about the wife. Except to say she's wonderful. So yeah, I have my seed mat, my grow lights. I have two sets. Well, you know what? Let me hop up for a second and show you what I'm talking about. So these are a bunch of my seeds here, or seedlings. I have, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 types of tomatoes. I have Mick Gardner, some type of yellow tomato, can't pronounce the name of it. Beefsteak tomatoes. The one, well, I'm not gonna say it's a complete failure, but my dill looks horrible. But I have more seeds. A couple of things. Oh, and my Jimmy Nardello pepper didn't come out that good, but I'm going to replant. This is my grow light setup. I made this. Obviously, I didn't make the lights, but I made the stand. The original stand was just one here instead of having doubles. And the original one cost me under $9. It took no time whatsoever to do it. It was fun. It was inexpensive, and it's sturdy. And I just move it from these plants to these plants because I'm giving at least 12 hours here, maybe another 12 hours here, and I just rotate it back and forth. Also, I have more seedlings here, hoping they germinate soon. Oh yeah, cheap PVC pipe, exactly what it is. PVC pipe, some 90-degree ring connectors, and some T connectors, easy as can be. Also, when I'm growing up here, I know this is almost like a greenhouse. These are fig cuttings. I just put these in over the weekend, and yes, it's a lot of them. And you may wonder why I have so many fig cuttings. Well, the reason why I have so many fig cuttings is because I have a giant fig tree. It is, and if you've seen my videos, you've seen them. If you've seen several of my videos, especially like if I do a full garden tour, my fig tree is about 20 years old. I planted it myself. Real simple. Dig a big hole, put some pea moss, cow manure, fertilize it once in a while. It's about, or at least it was, the size as tall as as wide as this 2-car garage. If I cut the top off, it would be wider than a 2-car garage. As far as height, there's a bedroom above my garage. If there was no ceiling in my garage, it would reach the top of the next room. So it's sky high. Oh yes, Sherry, absolutely. When you're planting seeds and plants, yeah, yeah. I love the varieties. This stuff I never would have even considered. Just going to home. Well, the big box stores. you know, if you go to these places, it's like I said, it's the same thing in every place. Where I'm mentioning Home Depot, Walmart, Lowe's. If you go there, you're going to find pretty much the exact same seed varieties. And as far as the starch, you're going to pretty much find the exact same start varieties. You go online, you're going to find hundreds of different varieties. Let me turn this thing off. It's just vibrating. If you are, there we go. My seeds. Hey J3GS. Hey, welcome, welcome. Great to see you here. Growing what I eat, man. I was watching your stuff earlier, and Jegs, I was watching yours earlier too. But I had to get to this live. I was like, well, I'll get back to it, and I will get back to your video later on today. His and Herb's High Desert Homestead. Absolutely. Oh man. Yes, yes. Seed swaps. Yeah, that's another great way of getting seeds. Also, libraries. Some libraries have seeds available. Just gotta ask. So this is my seed starting tray. I bought this at Michael's. It came with, I showed this when I did my seed haul video. It came with all of these. You can buy this with just one solid color. I decided a different variety of colors. Trying to be organized. This is the most organized I've been with my seeds in, hey, my entire life. Oh, I see Cropper. What's up? Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. So, this is the most organized I've been in my life. I bought 2 of these. I filled it completely up. This LP, Dimensions, I recognize your name. I've seen you around. Welcome, welcome. I try to be organized. This is the most organized I've ever been in my life as far as seeds. My wife says I can be a little OCD, but I wasn't with my seeds. And, well, these are my spring summer seeds. I have another container that has the rest of my fall winter seeds. I didn't want to have to keep going through seeds that I'm going to be using right now, so I want to split them. I filled both containers up, and to be honest with you, I think I need one more. I should have bought it when I was there, but I was trying not to go nuts. I didn't think I would fill it up. I had no idea. But yeah, I filled it up, filled both of them up. I have a bunch of seeds that I had saved that I need another container for. Also, I can kind of divide the other ones up more. Because one thing I say, you can never have too many seeds. Never have too many seeds. The varieties, the cost savings, you know, sometimes there's shortages on stuff. And I try not to panic about stuff. I try to shop a little early if I can. But yeah, I have these seed starting trays, and they've been a lifesaver. Just as far as keeping me organized. And when I was planting these out, I would just go from slot to slot to slot and just start planting seeds. Now the rest of my seeds, and my later planting seeds, like my squash, zucchini, watermelon wars. I think David may have won that contest once, but there's a debate about that. They say he was the watermelon king. Yeah, watermelon king. Where was I? So watermelon, cantaloupe. My larger seeds, I direct sow those. I don't bother with the seed starting trays because frankly, they're going to grow so fast. And you know this, they're going to grow so fast that they would have outgrown these trays by now. Because these seedlings are, most of them are about 2 weeks old. So imagine something that grows 2 or 3 times as fast as these seedlings. Imagine how big they would be. And how big they would be, I can't even. I grouped the seeds by in the container. I didn't. Well, yes, I did. I took each one of those, like each color, and I'll put all tomatoes in it, or maybe the blue one I'll put all peppers. I need to label them really, because I think I have a couple things with tomatoes, but they hold a good amount of seeds. Even those Baker Creek package, because their packages are bigger than most other people, most other companies. They So yeah, I've organized it. Alfred, man, I'm so glad to see you. You've been making comments on my videos. I don't know for how long, but it seems like it's been a couple years. When I see you, I'm like, yeah, yeah. I was worried because I hadn't seen you in a while, at least as far as commenting on my videos. So yes, I'm glad I keep you going. I'm glad that well, you said keep going, my friend. Yes, yes. And you are my friend. You're part of you're part of the gardening community. I love seeing everyone here. And I hate to say it, did not set my phone to on do not disturb because I was testing something and I didn't know what effect it was going to have. Anyway, excuse me. So if you see a stutter or something, it might be my Ring doorbell going off. Hopefully, nobody's calling me this time of night. It would have to be urgent. So anyway, but once again, it's great to see you, Alfred. I have more coming out. I'm going to try to be more consistent with putting out videos. My goal is one long form video a week, 2 shorts a week. I know other people are able to put more videos out more rapidly. It's difficult for me. I work a full-time job, just like many of other people here. I have 1,000 projects around the house. I have a wife. There are things, there are things. So I'm going to try to be more consistent in putting out videos. And that's one reason why I want to do this live, because I figure this is a way for me to reach out to different members of the community and hey, give you something. Maybe at least share some ideas, chat. I'm doing what I can do. Yes, I do me because that's all I can do. I would love to be able to do more, but if you watch my videos, you know I do tend to do quite a bit of editing. It's just how I do things. Everybody does their thing. I do it the way I do it. It's just it's just the way I am. So more videos coming out. I might have something out this weekend. I already put one video out this week, so at the very least I have maybe a short. I had one. Let me tell you, for YouTubers, if you put, thank you, Alfred. I appreciate that. You built two. I'm looking at my computer here, so if I look away, I'm looking at the comments on my computer because I can see them for a much longer time. So Alfred, you learned from my videos, built 2 3x5 beds, excited to get them filled and finally start more. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, everybody. Alfred, yes. Grow your food, grow your food, grow your food. And let me tell you, I appreciate that Alfred mentioned that he learned some things from my channel. However, let me state this clearly. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a professional. I'm Farmer Marshall, but that's the title my wife gave me when I would grow food and bring it in. I bring some stuff in. She said, "Oh, Farmer Marshall." And this went on for years, long before I started a YouTube channel. So when I named my channel, I was like, Farmer Marshall. And I'm like, I put urban gardener because I know I'm not a farmer. I'm more of an urban gardener, but Farmer Marshall's the title of my title. That's who I am, Farmer Marshall. Um, so and I appreciate that Alfred learns things from me. I'm sure other people do too. I've had so many comments about people learning different things. But, and like I said, I'm not a professional. But one thing I understand about YouTube, actually a couple things, many things. Yeah, let me get myself down here better. Oh, hey, I know different subject. Oh, I'm backwards. Just me and my plants t-shirt. I saw that. I was like, I have to buy this. Anyway, it's on the. You'll see maybe a better view of it on the thumbnail of the video. So, a few things to know about YouTube. One, I believe it's the #2 search engine, right behind Google. Most people go to YouTube for entertainment or to learn research. When we're gardening, often when we're showing people what we do, even though we may or may not be teaching, people are learning. So whether you consider yourself a teacher or not, I compare it to when Charles Barkley said he's not a role model. You know, way back when he was doing basketball and throwing people through windows, he said, I'm not a role model. But he was a role model. Whether he knew he was or not. So if people feel that I'm teaching them things, fine. If people think I'm just a goofy dude, fine. I hope I present some entertainment. So that's my little diatribe on that. So whether you think you're a teacher or not, some people are teachers and maybe they don't realize it. Because I've learned a lot from people who weren't necessarily teaching me things. So anyway, that's enough of that. So let me show you something else. My office has a lot of different things going on, and I don't know if you can hear. You see this little contraption behind me here? Can anybody guess what this is? Anybody? So, something else I mentioned on my first live was that I was going to be doing more as far as fertilizing my garden, as far as sharing. No, not a clue. Okay, I'm gonna tell you in a sec. I told I was gonna be watering my garden more, make sure I concentrate on not turning the faucet off as quickly. But I did get 2 rain barrels, 270, or actually I think they're actually 300 gallons if you go all the way to the top. 2 300-gallon water containment units. I found at a excuse me. I found it. It's funny. I found it at a yard sale and it wasn't actually for sale. There was 2 people. I'll make this story quick. There was 2 people, and they were neighbors having yard sales. I went to one, and as I'm in her driveway, I see the backyard of the other people that were having a yard sale, and I saw these water containment units, and they didn't really necessarily look like they were being used. She said, "Yeah, well, you know." I was like, "That's what I would really like to get." She's like, "Well, you should ask them because they're moving. That's why they're having a yard sale." So, long story short, or whatever, I bought 2 huge water containment units, 4 rain barrels, like 55-gallon rain barrels. They offered to deliver them to me, $325. I spent a lot of money last year. My wife, we went to Hawaii last year. This was a bucket list trip. Been talking about it forever, and I was like, wow, do I really want to spend this money? But yeah, I spent it. So now I'm more able to water my garden with, as Grove Farmer calls it, God water, rainwater, instead of having water with chlorine in it. And yes, I'm going to use my regular sprinkler system too when I have to. Otherwise, I'm just going to use my rain barrels and water containment system. So so that was one of my commitments. Another commitment was I was going to do, and I know I'm rambling. Uh, I said I was going to, and I wrote notes, but I'm probably covering some of it. I told myself that I would. I told myself that I was going to make sure I use more natural fertilizers. Provide my own fertilizer. I have a compost bin. Actually, it's a 3 bin. I'm talking 3 by 3 by 3. 3 feet tall, 3 feet wide, 3 feet long. Three of them right next to each other. I pulled out I'd say over 20 buckets of compost out of those last year. That's a lot of compost. And I'm also going to raise quail. Quail eggs were in this. Sherry, everybody else? Yeah. I ordered 30 quail eggs. This is the incubator. I just put them in here today. And I tell you what, I was nervous because you have to get this thing going right. You have to get the temperature right, steady. You have to get the humidity correct. So yeah, I'm going to be raising quail eggs, and their poop is similar to chicken poop. It's great for your garden. I can't put it on there right away because it will burn my garden. But I can take the quail poop and put it in my compost bin once I pretty much clear out the stuff that I'm going to take out this spring. And I can put that in my compost bin and let it sit for 4, 5, 6 months. And then in the fall, I can start using my quail poop. Free compost. Now my compost bin, I have tons of, scraps from eating, scraps from the garden, scraps from the yard. But adding the quail poop is going to super energize my compost. And I need to be able to feed my garden without going broke. If you saw the whole, and I'm not getting into politics, but you saw there, and I don't know if they've been rescinded or delayed, but there's the tariffs on Canada. Well, 90% of our fertilizer comes from imports. We import 90% of our fertilizer, and the numbers are give or take 5-10%. 80% of our compost comes from of our fertilizer comes from Canada. So what you're going to do? Stock up now, or find a way to feed your soil without going broke. Because I'm not cheap, I'm frugal. But don't ask my wife about that. There might be a disagreement. But I took her to Hawaii. So I might have a little bit Bayou Sugar. Hey, welcome. Thanks for stopping in. So that's what I'm going to be doing as far as increasing the amount of fertilizer that I produce here at my home. Also, here, let me grab this. This is my next new toy. I'm going to be using this. There's nothing in it right now because I just bought this container. I'm going to be setting up a worm bin. A worm castings is supposed to be fantastic. I can take this bin, either put it in my like I said, my greenhouse is not heated, but it's not cool in summer. I can take this thing and put it in my basement. Yes, Sherry. I've seen how people make some people call it super juice. But yeah, they take the and what you're talking about is putting weeds and stuff. Yeah, take weeds and vegetable scraps, put in some water. I think some people use a bubbler. I think I've heard people talk about putting some syrup in it. I've seen different videos on it, but it's supposed to stink. But of course, I wouldn't have it inside. I've considered it. It's another option. I haven't heard anything bad about it. Take that back. I heard this one lady. She's a Canadian gardener. She's a soil master gardener, soil expert, whatever. And she says that it's not effective, but she's anyway. Um, I've seen more people say that it works than people that say it doesn't work. But the fact that she's a scientist, eh, I generally trust the science, but I'm not sure what science she's looking at. So I may give it a try and make my own experiment and see what works for me. But I have have a lot of things going on. So, but yes, I'm glad you're excited about the seeing the process of the composting. I'm probably going to do a short video, not a short, but maybe do a video on how to set up a worm composting bin and show the results of what I'm pulling out of it. I see that people sell worms, and yeah, you would have to buy. I think the red wigglers are the best worms from what I've researched. People sell them by 500. You can buy for maybe 50, $60, whatever, or they'll sell you 1,000 of them. I'm like, $80 for worms. So I'm not cheap, but ah. So I don't know. I'm going to have to figure something out, and that's something my wife hates it when I say that. I'll figure it out. She'll ask me a question, be like, "Honey, I'm not sure about. It. Figure it out." She's heard that about 1,000 times, but I generally do figure it out, honey. Um, so yeah, I'm going to do some more worm composting. I'm not cheap and frugal. I'll say that 1,000 times until someone believes me. Um, I've seen Chigsy. Hey, lady, how you doing? Thank you so much for the seeds. I haven't planted them yet because those are going to be my next set of seeds. I started my tomato plants, my pepper plants, and a few other things, some herbs. Oh, my basil came up. I was so happy with my basil. I have lemon basil. Did I finish talking about the worm castings? Anyway, I think I'm finished with that. My basil seeds, my basil came up. I have lemon basil and some blue something basil I got from I think in my gardener, and that's one of my big sources from seed. I'll go to in my gardener or Baker's Creek. I have some fairy moor seeds I probably got from one of the big box stores. I have some old seeds that I'm going to do an experiment with. Um, and when I say old seeds, I think I mentioned them in um, my seed haul video. I have some seeds that I got from my parents' house in Chicago. My parents, my father, we moved him out of Chicago about 2 years ago. Excuse me. He's about 85. Excuse me. He's about 85, 86 years old. My mother passed when she was about 70, so about 12, 13 years ago. So when we moved my father down, and I'm in Georgia 8A, moved him down from Chicago. And he had been reluctant. We've been trying to get him to come for years, and finally he realized, it's difficult for me to do for him to do what he needs to do, and for us to fly up there or drive up there every time something comes up. So, and we knew how he was. He would say, "I'm going to move down," and then he changed his mind, or he would, he's getting forgetful. And we needed to get him out of Chicago. He's on the south side of Chicago, but he didn't have any incidences of situations where he was endangered. Um, so we need to get him down here. So since we knew that he might change his mind, my brother and sister, I know this is a long story about seeds. We knew that he might change his mind, so my brother and sister flew up to Chicago. they flew up to Chicago, one-way tickets. They drove him back. They packed up some clothes, brought him back, locked up the house, put security cameras in the house. Yeah, well, yes, South Side can be rough, but I survived. It's funny. I'm not gonna say I didn't hang out because I was a tennis addict. I played tennis. I was up there all summer long, 6, 7 days a week, hour after hour after hour. No one ever bothered me. 6 feet 190. I was in great shape, and I think I have that look that says, "Don't mess with me." I don't know. But anyway, no one. I never really got. I got bothered once when someone tried to steal my bike, and I won't tell what happened to him. Not on film. Um, and I think I was maybe about 20, 21. So anyway, so we moved him down, and anyway, as we were clearing out the house over the next months and stuff, I found seeds, old seeds. I'm talking seeds that were. I'm sorry, folks. I bother me. I found seeds that were 2020, 2021, 2020, 2001, 1997. Seeds in the garage, seeds in, everybody got a jug drawer. So I decided I'm going to, what the heck? I'm going to plant these seeds and see what happens. Some are just wildflowers. I think there's some 4 o'clock flowers. Some are actually vegetable seeds. I think I had something that germinated over here. If you're just joining in, I have my seed starting trays down here with my seedlings. I think something that was from 2021 did germinate. So if you have old seeds, save them, use them. Um, Very happy about that. Very, very happy about that. And I may not have. I'm bouncing around. I think I didn't finish my story about my fig cuttings. I have about 40 fig cuttings. Like I said, my tree's huge. I need to reduce it. It's getting too big. It's up against my fence. It's up against my garden. And no matter how much I trim it down, it's always back the next year or two. So I'm cutting it down to a nice, manageable size. It's so tall I can't reach the figs. I can't use a fruit picker. A fruit picker is going to do me no good because you can't really do that with a fig because so once they get ripe, they get really ripe and squishy. So I'm cutting the tree down to a manageable height, a manageable width. It's a brown turkey fig. I'm sorry if I missed any comments. I'm just babbling. Um, Alfred, you're okay. Born and raised in Chicago. Only issue with city. Yes, yes. The only problem is the short growing season. What about the cold? Oh, let me get back to this real quick. I'm gonna get back to that comment. Um, I bought a Chicago. What? No, not Chicago Hardy fig. I bought an LSU purple fig that's currently in my greenhouse in a bucket, and I want to plant that out not too far away from my brown turkey fig. But the brown turkey fig, it's just if you got a tree so big you can't reach the fruit, you're wasting energy. Well, my opinion, but it's true. Um, you're wasting energy. That fruit's sending energy up throughout the tree. I don't need it way, way, way up there where I can't even reach the fruit. I'm gonna do the same thing with my pear tree. It's a Kiefer pear. It's way, way, way too big. It was here when I bought the house 21 years ago, I think. It's huge. I need to reduce it probably about half. Um, so yeah, so that's why I have all these fig cuttings because I've been reducing the size of the fig tree. I'm like, you know what? If I can get some cuttings, maybe maybe sell some, maybe grow another brown turkey fig on the opposite side of my house, my yard. Which brings me to something else. I am going to. Oh, Alfred, the winters there are what drove me out of Chicago. Not the danger, not the short growing season, but the winters. When you get off, I grew up there. So when I would get out for school in grammar school, and in the dead of the winter, it would be dark at 4:30. I mean, pitch black. That's a little depressing. The winter seasons there now, from what I've seen, have been a little more milder. Because the last few years that my father was there, he said the snow wasn't nearly as bad as it was when I was growing up. But we would have snow, stacked. You shovel your sidewalk, snow's 2 feet high, and then you get another snow, and then it's here, and then you get another snow, and it's here. Absolutely crazy. You'd have to literally walk through the street after snow, because if people hadn't shoveled the sidewalks, you can't walk in the sidewalk. But Chicago never shuts down. So, people have been driving up and down the street. There's a path. It may not have been the safest thing, but you're trying to get to school. And they aren't so quick to shut down schools up north as they do down south. Here down south, there's a threat of snow. Oh, school's shut. Might be for a day or two. Up there, when I was going to school, when you had snow, there was still, well, I went to Catholic school. But even with regular schools, there's not an excuse for being late. You knew it was going to snow. So when you know what? You get up, you leave early. So that's what I think about Chicago. Beautiful city, absolutely beautiful. Can be a little rough. I never really hung out where I shouldn't hang out. But, sometimes it doesn't matter where you're hanging out. Danger follows you. I think I was blessed, maybe. Um, so, yes, Alfred. The Winter City was there for a boot camp in '97. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. If you have to spend at least one winter in Chicago to understand what I'm talking about, unless you live in another environment that's similar. The weather's tough, but the people are tough too. I mean, you see people out there on the bus stop in 5, 10 degree weather, but they got their coats, their scarves, their hats. They bundle up. They do what they got to do because that's where they live. I just couldn't do it anymore. So I moved south. I'm weak. I know it, but I had to do what I had to do. I had to get out of there. And see what else. Did I have anything else I really want to go into? Hey folks, what time is it? I don't want to keep people. I know some people. Okay, it's 49 minutes. I was thinking I was going to run about an hour. I think I might have another 10 minutes of babbling to you. Let me see. Is there anything else up here I want to show you? Um, I think I've shown you everything in the house here. Oh, in case you're wondering, I mean, I thought about it. Suppose a power goes out and this stops working for 6, 12, 24 hours. I have Blue 80, um, EB70S, which is 800 watts. I have an AC 180, which is 1800 watts. So I have enough power to run this for a period of time. And worst comes to worst, they say you just cover it with blankets and hope and pray for the best. But I generally don't have a lot of power outages here, so I think I should be okay. 14 days of regular, I think it's 14 to 15 days of regular incubation. Then you put into what they call lockdown. Ooh, sounds weird. Where you raise the humidity up and you take it off with the rollers, because this thing has rollers in it to automatically turn the eggs every 6 hours or 3 hours. So after that, like I said, just take the rollers off. You take and you just lay them down flat, turn the humidity up, and within 2 days from that point, I should have some baby quail. There will be video. They aren't going to be in my office. I'm going to leave this like this until they hatch out, and then I'm going to put them in a brooder, basically a big old clear Tupperware type thing with a heating plate. I'll leave them probably in my garage or in my basement. Who knows? I might even leave them up here, depending on how noisy they are. But the quail aren't very noisy birds, apparently. And after about 3 weeks, I can put them in my quail hutch, which I'm putting the finishing touches on. If you see my videos, you see the big old white construction towards the back of the garden. That's a quail hutch, so I'm working on that. And I'll be honest with you. Now, you've seen me, my stomach on the videos. I'm not a small man. I'm not a vegetarian. I like meat. David Corey, go ahead. Say it. Somebody needs J3. Anyway, pause. So, yes, I like meat. So, after about 6 to 8 weeks, you can. Thanks, J3. Miss Shirley, OG Gardner, welcome in. I didn't see you come in. I'm so sorry, missed you. Yes, yes. Pause. Yes, yes. Who else did I miss? I'm sorry that I missed you. I always see you around. So if I missed anyone, I do apologize. I'm not professional at this. So yeah, these guys, once you get about 6 to 8 weeks old, you can eat them. So I'm going to continue to take some eggs, hatch them. Some birds will be used for meat. Some will be used for breeders. They say one male for every 5 females. It sounds like it is in the streets, you know what I mean? Um, so yeah, one male for every 5 females. But they say in general, when you hatch eggs, you're probably going to get 50-50 mix. So well, a good portion of the males will definitely be meat birds initially until I can get the right balance. The females, once they get about 6 to 8 weeks old, they start laying eggs. And so I'm going to save some eggs for producing more birds. Some eggs will be for just for eggs. My wife has agreed that she will eat the eggs, but I bought some quail last year as an experiment to see because I was talking about raising quail, but I never tasted one before. So I said I was at a farmer's market not too far from me, and they had quail, and I hopped on it, and I cooked them. Yes, I can cook. I'm decent. I like to bake. I don't fry. Frying is just so sloppy. Takes too much time. The cleanup takes too much time, and I don't need the oil. So I just baked them, put some seasoning salt on, covered them, and I think it maybe took 20 minutes, if that, to bake them, maybe 25. I love them, but she saw that they look like little birds from outside, and she's like, I'm not gonna do that. So hopefully she'll change her mind. This is about feeding my family because things are tough out there and it might get tougher. I'm not going to put fear out there. I know what I'm going to be doing. I hope you guys are going to be doing something. I know a lot of you people are. A lot of you guys are. Ladies, everybody. I know people are going to be growing food. If and the great thing about quail, because I consider chickens, I need more space with chickens. I have a good sized backyard, but my dogs, I've seen my dogs chase birds out of my fig tree and grab them and walk around all proud. So, no chickens in my yard. And if I was going to raise chickens, I would have to have a hen, a rooster. I can't have a rooster here. That rooster I'm not going to say I would strangle that rooster the first time he wake me up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but he would go into the oven too. So I can't deal with that. Rabbits, I heard rabbits a good amount of meat on rabbits. I love rabbit, but from what I've heard, they're they're harder to keep alive. These quail can deal with all sorts of temperatures. These quails will be in my quail hutch outside in the dead of winter, and they'll be fine. Part of my quail hutch is kind of a sealed in container with a little square hole they can come in and out to help get them out of the elements and stuff. But quail are very cold hardy. So if you're considering raising something for meat, if you have the space with chickens, if you can deal with the rooster, fine. Rabbits, I love rabbit, but I want something that I felt like I could be successful with. So that's why I chose quail. I didn't feel like rabbits, because rabbit was my first choice, but I didn't feel that I could be successful. Add some lemon. Okay, I'll add some lemon to it next time, country hustle. I'm going to be experimenting. I like to experiment when I cook food. I cooked karabi this year, never cooked it before. Wife loved it. Yes, loved it. You can eat the 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 bulb. You can eat the leaves. And I'll tell you something that I don't know if my wife will see this video, but I was cooking collard greens that night. I was cooking karabi, the beet. I took the leaves from the karabi, mixed it into the collard greens. Couldn't even tell the difference. It was just more food. So that's my new adventure. Worm composting, quail, just growing more food. I'm putting in trellises. I bought 4 cattle panels. I've bought my 3rd raised bed garden. Um, Also, I'm considering taking the opposite side of my yard, opposite from where my main garden is. I'm considering fencing it off and making another garden. Mm, Allergies. I'm considering fencing that off and making another garden because I think I might need to expand. Also, will give me the opportunity to take my main garden, let it rest for a season, maybe put some type of ground cover down. We'll see, but that's it's not definite set in stone. So, oh yes, I thought I said something. Okay, um, it's okay to like meat. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness. I've cut back on some meat, um, but I'm just trying to be healthier. But folks, you know what? I think that's about all I got. I don't want to just keep battling. I'm at 59 minutes. So hey, thanks for coming by. I appreciate each and every person that came by for this live. I felt like I was about to have a birthday party, and I was afraid that no one was going to show up. Seriously, I mean that's how. This is the life of a YouTuber. You put a video out and you get 20 views. It's like, huh? So you do a live. You're like, oh my goodness. I hope people show up, and you guys showed up and showed out. I've heard pastors say that. Yeah. Well, anyway. Um, so I'm in this how I always end my videos. Let's get out there and get a little dirty. Yeah. Now if I can stop this thing.